We're going to make a little neck warmer and have some fun. So you're going to need a piece of Luxe fleece. Luxe fleece is kind of like velour on one side and more woolly on the other side, and the woolly side's the wrong side. And you're going to cut this 22 inches long, with the most stretch being this way, and 12 inches wide. And then you're going to measure in 8 inches from this end and 6 inches up. That's going to be halfway, and put a little pin there, and that's going to be the center of where you're going to put your embroidery. So we're going to use our medium hoop, and I've got sticky back tearaway in there. And remember how we put it in with the shiny side up, and we score around it, and then I do a little squiggly line, and always tear up and not down. And remember, we talked about in another video your little screwdriver that works with your 94D foot has a little soft end on it, and you can put that on your hoop screw and tighten your hoop. So now we're going to fold this over right sides together, just like this, and kind of even things up. You see that our pin is in the middle, and this is the side that's going to go to the arm of the embroidery module. So we're going to hoop this way. And I'm looking at my pin, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it to the middle, and just sort of laying my fleece down in there. This is just a neck warmer. It's not like we have to be exact. And then just gently stick your fleece down. And when I get over to my machine, I'm going to float a piece of cutaway, and I'll do that on the very bottom of my hoop. This will be when I get to the machine. And I'm going to put a piece of water-soluble stabilizer on top, because this has a nap. So we're going to go to the machine now, and don't worry, I'm going to have all these measurements and a materials list with this video for you. So we'll go over to the machine now. Okay, we're ready to start our embroidery. This is just a little rose that we're going to put on our neck warmer. And I'm going to use a basting box, so we'll do that now. And trim my threads, and I've already threaded my machine with the first color. This design only takes 2 colors, so we'll go ahead and we'll stitch out our first color. This design takes 26 minutes, and I'm at about 50% speed. I never sew very fast. And I wish that I could take credit for this little neck warmer, but my good friend Amy Butler, who is also a member of this group, she worked out all these measurements for us and has shared this on her group, and everybody has enjoyed it so much. This is something fun to do if you've got a new machine for Christmas, or if you're just kind of burned out from doing Christmas gifts and want to do something for yourself. These take about an hour or less, and they're just a whole lot of fun. And since I'm using this Luxe fleece, I do not have my high tension yellow bobbin in. I'm just using my regular black. back bobbin. And I've got you can see under here I have this is my sticky back, and underneath it is floated my cutaway. So I'll stitch out my rows, and in a few minutes we'll be back and we'll finish up our little neck warmer. Okay, so all our embroidery's done. I've trimmed all around it and cleaned up the front. And I have folded my neck warmer in half lengthwise, right sides together, and I'm taking a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm just going along at a 1/2 inch. And I have my 1D foot on. You could use whatever you like. And I've got my differential feed down because this is pretty fluffy stuff and it kind of wants to creep a little bit, so I'm using my differential feed. And we'll hurry and show you how to put this together real quick. And I told you in the first part of the video, that little screwdriver that I used to tighten the hoops goes with the 94D foot. It's 97D. And then I mentioned that there's 2 colors to the embroidery, but there's 3. So I don't know. My New Year's resolution is to get back on my meds. Huh. Okay, now I'm going to press this open, just finger press it open a little bit. And then this is kind of a trick. So you come in this end with your hand and you go all the way to the other end, and you don't want this to twist. It has to stay straight. And you're going to get a hold of the seam right here. See? I'm going to get a hold of the seam on the other end, and you're going to pull it right straight back to this seam. And you can't let it get twisted or anything. That's real important that it doesn't get twisted. And you just pull it back, and when you get back to this seam, we're going to line these 2 seams up. Hope you can see this. And I'm going to stick a couple of pins in here. And I want to make sure this stays put. And then you just kind of, you're only going to sew part way around this. Just part way, because you got to be able to turn it right side out. So let's start about here. I'll start over here. And then I'm just going to sew just past the seam a little ways. I kind of, Amy stops hers here, because this is center back and center actually. But I kind of wanted since this is so thick, I wanted my seams to lay pretty flat right there, so I closed mine in a different place. So I'm going to go just past the seam, these 2 pins, and slide right under. And again, I'm using 1/2 inch seam, and I'm just going to tippy toe over this. And I don't like to sew over pins, so I'll take them out once I get going here. And then I'm going to just keep going till I get to this pin, and that's when I'll stop. And I'm gonna back stitch. Get that pin out of there. Back stitch. Cut my thread. And there's gonna be a little thread tail to trim where I started. So I'll grab that. And now through this opening here, we're gonna turn our neck warmer right side out. And when you get it turned, you want this seam, this lengthwise seam, to go down the middle. It's not going to be on one end or the other. It's going to be right down the middle. So just work with it a little bit. And then if you want me to, I can go live and show you how to do a ladder stitch. But that's how I would close this, is with a ladder stitch. And when you put this on, this is right side up. This is center back. So this is offset just a little bit from your chin in the front. And you kind of squish them in around your neck to keep the drafts out. And you've got a really pretty, soft and feminine neck warmer. So if you have any questions, just post, and have a good evening.